Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Avue Games 2021. Today we're having the League of Legends Best of 3 series, and we're already getting on with it, and we're getting along with the picks and bans. And alongside me I have J-Man today. J-Man, how you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm doing great, man. Really excited to see the games go tonight. It's gonna be a close one.
It is going to be a close one. Who do you have right now as your, team of choice,
Honestly, given the team chemistry and how long they think with each other, I do kind of prefer Team SIU.
Okay, Team SIU.
Team ELB is kind of a bunch of different groups smashed together, and I believe this will affect the chemistry to some extent. So I have my eyes on Team SIU to take this 2-0.
I see. Well, me personally, I've been watching them scrim a couple games, and I see, like, while they are having fun, there are some communication errors here and there, but I think they have what it takes, provide a good competition for both teams, and I think it's going to be great games all around.
I would agree. It's going to be great regardless. 2-0, 2-1, it's going to be a banger.
Yep. And it seems like we have target bans towards the mid lane, or I think towards the top lane as well, with the Vladimir and the Kassadin ban, and a Nami ban on the side of Team SIU for Team ELB. And I'm guessing that's for the bot lane focus ban.
I do think this pick and ban so far reflects how these teams think and where they want to play on. For Team SIU, we do know that their bot laners are quite the vocal point, especially with Sir Wastort or Alex on support role. So I'm not surprised seeing them target banning the opposing bot lane because they want to have the focal point of bot lane. Whereas for Team ELB, I feel like the solo laners would be the spotlight, especially with the current meta whereby the top laners provide so much impact on the map, and along with a lot of mid lane champs that can really start carrying.
Right.
So this is just a reflection of how the teams want to play it. You have Team ELB who wants to play solo lane dominance, and Team SIU wants to go bot lane all the way.
And also, I think it's because not only are the bot lane the focal point for Team SIU, it's also limiting the champions that, someone like the bot lane of Team ELB have in terms of the support, because this is a new support coming into the role and with the team. So having that limitations on that might be advantageous for Team SIU.
Yeah, I agree. And because Gilgamesh and Sir Wallace, they had a history of playing together in the same bot lane, so with the focal point of Team SIU being the bot laner pick, they would know what type of champions to specifically target in order to get the greatest advantage possible, meta-wise and player proficiency-wise.
And we see the first lock-in for Team ELB being the Leona. What do you make of this?
Safe pick. It's a really safe pick. Leona is, as we know, one of the easier support champs, but the return is very high as well. You have all the tank stats, you have the crowd control, easy crowd control needed. So, assuming what you said about the support of Team ELB being a new support in the role, then Leona is probably one of the best picks left on the table for them.
Yep. And I mean by new support in the role that she normally tends to play like the mage kind of supports, like Soraka, Nami, and those are kind of enchantress ones. But I can see here that the Leona pick means that they're trying to maybe be have somewhat of an engage as well, and set their team up, with the Leona ult and the E's as well. So having that is a nice.
This comes to where I wanted to bring my point about blind picking Leona first pick. Now, if you look at Team SIU, they have a lot of Thresh locked in, which not only counters Leona have played well, but Sir Wastort, as we know, is very proficient at Thresh. In fact, it's one of his most comfortable picks. So blind picking that Leona may come at the cost of getting counterpicked and giving away Sir Wallace's most proficient champion.
And we could see that Kyorogos has locked in the set. Do you think this is a set top lane, or do you think maybe they might flex it into mid lane as well? It might not be the best mid lane choice, but it is a possibility.
It could be left open, honestly, and if I were to critique the draft a little bit, given that Team ELB has already locked in a Leona, I would have saved the Thresh pick for much later, provided that they have enough bans on the table, because then the set can be flexed to either top, mid, or support. It will give them much more draft flexibility,
Yeah, as they could see like what the enemy team picks ahead of them, and then if they decide like, okay, it's not working in the top lane, it's not working in the mid lane, then put it in the support, and then pick some other champions for those roles.
Exactly.
And as you can see, the Lily and the Trundle locked in for the jungle picks. I know that the Red Bandit is quite comfortable on the Trundle. He's played it a couple times in scrims, and I think it's a good pick for him, and he can make well with it against someone like the Thresh and the Set.
I would agree, and it fits very well meta-wise and comp-wise because the Trundle Pillar, as we know, it's quite an underrated ability, I would say. Because for the low cost, it provides a good form of soft CC, which really allows the Leonas to have more options on engaging. And so far we see from Team SIU, they don't have the most mobility right now.
Right.
They can be tanky, they have the shielding, but they're not mobile.
And as the other bands come through, the Malphite and Syndra and the Caitlyn on the side of Caitlyn and Zed on the side of Team ELB and Malphite Syndra on the side of Team SIU. I think this is towards the solo laners now because that's all that's left, and I think they're trying to take away Caitlyn because it's quite a it's a comfort pick, I would say, for Stating Straw or Luke. So having that denied from him might leave him against to play into like a counter matchup or a matchup that he's not as comfortable into as the Jinx Kai'Sa, as the Kai'Sa's locked in now. And what else would you say about the bans?
I find the Malphite ban interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where they're coming from. So this tells me that Team SIU are going towards a really immobile comp, as you can see from the Kai'Sa. Not the most mobile AD carry either. And
right.
Actually, a point about the Caitlyn ban, I find that a really smart ban because you have the Jinx locked in. And what a Jinx wants to do basically in early to mid game is to farm safely. And one of the only AD carry champs that can really pressure Jinx in laning phase would be Caitlyn.
As we can now see the Gwen locked in and the Corki as well. I think they have quite a strong team comp on the side of Team ELB right now. Gwen being a comfort pick for Edwin, and Corki being comfort pick for Coconut as well. I'm interested to see what the last choice is for Jonas into the Corki, and I think it's the TF hover. Do you think it's gonna be the TF? It is the TF. Okay, so
it's TF, it's locked in. It's back to different team style choices now. If you look at Team ELB, the entire team comp, they shout late game. They want to get to the late game because late game you have the Gwen and the Corki, who can. And Corki as well is a surprisingly good engager, so Team ELB thus far has quite a good engage comp, but for the team to really come online, it will be more towards the mid to late game. Whereas Team SIU right now, they have some late game insurance in the form of Kai'Sa, but I'm looking more towards the early game whereby the Set could be a really big lane bullying to Gwen early on, and Twist of Fate, Laplashin on the Twist of Fate, his ultimates will be really crucial to set the pace going for Team SIU and not let Team ELB get too far ahead and too comfortable before they get into the late game insurance comp.
And I can see with the TF, it opens the map up to some playmaking to get some cross map plays, you know, set maybe the bot lane up with a couple kills, you know, try to play around the team, because I don't think they're gonna get TF can really do anything into a Corki lane where he can just get poked out, you know, and just maybe trade autos at best. But I think it's mainly for a team-centered kind of pick, the TF.
Yep, would agree, because in the mid lane wise now, as you said, Corki against TF is not exactly the best matchup for the TF because Corki, I'm assuming if he takes Fleet Footwork, he'll have much higher sustain. And generally the hybrid in his passive gives him more damage output and Twist of Fate early to late game. But with Team SIU's team comp, I wouldn't want to see them play lane, as you said. I would like to see them do the 4 versus 2 bot lanes where the Set TPs behind an enemy tower and then the TF TPs down as well with the ultimate.
Right.
So this is what I would expect from Team SIU to execute on, because Kai'Sa would be one of the only late game insurances carries right now. And it's really important they shut one of the carry points of Team ELB down, because if all 3 of their late game carries are left untouched, then I don't see a world where Team SIU will come out with a team fight.
And I can see that they are quite AD focused right now, with the main damage sources being the Corki and the Jinx, mainly being primarily AD damage. But they also have good balance damage in terms of the Gwen, who can, you know, get around and, you know, avoid a lot of the CC involved with her pool. So that allows some opportunities for for the rest of the team to follow up when, you know, let's say a Thresh hook goes wide or it doesn't necessarily land because of the pool.
Yeah, and I really like Team ELB's comp in general right now because they look AD focused on paper, but let's not forget, Corki does a good amount of AP damage over the passive, and we have Trundle whose ultimate can shred armor. So all things considered, Team SIU is not exactly the tankiest team comp either, with their tag arguably being the set, and with the Trundle ultimate on the set, a lot of the armor can be shredded, and I do see ideal scenario in the late game where Gilgamesh's Jinx can just one-shot the entire enemy team just by kiting in the backline with the rockets.
As we wait to get into the game, I just want to say that I'm really excited to see how this goes down, and in particular, I'm excited to see how the bot lane plays their game. With let's say that because it's basically Gilgamesh and Sir Wallace have played together in the bot lane probably the most out of everyone in Avue, and just to see them go against each other, kind of knowing what each other's playstyle a bit, is going to be interesting to see how they tell their partners like, okay, well he plays like this. How do you want to go about it?
It'll be very interesting to see the micromanagement of the bot lane matchup. As you said, Gilgamesh and Sir Wallace, they play together so often that they know each other's warding habits, farming habits, these small things that are not normally picked up by the average eye. So it will be really interesting to see what they do with this.
So expectations before we actually load into the game. How do you think it's gonna go early game? Is it gonna be a safe early game for Team SIU or Team ELB, or?
Team ELB wouldn't want to play safe early game as they want to get to late game scaling, but Team SIU, at least once they hit the level 6 mark, I would expect them to be more proactive on the map. Whereby, if we focus on the bot lane point, where it's quite the highlight of the matchup right now, post level 2 to level 3, I would expect Team ELB to be more proactive, as the Leona level 2 level 3 power spike is quite strong. But once they hit level 6, the solo laners hit 6, I would expect Team SIU to be the proactive one instead.
Alright, we have loaded into the game right now. And here we go. Let's change some minor settings real quick.
Touch, you're no longer streaming. Touch, I don't see anything. You're not streaming.
Hold on.
Right. Good things for wads.
Alright, well you can see that the teams are focusing around the bot side, and early flash out of the Leona can be kind of costly early game.
They have gone for it in wave of Thresh, which is... I like to see this from Team SIU. Like we said, they need to be proactive, and level 1 with the Thresh hook, they are the stronger side. They have the stronger fighting potential, so to speak. So I like how they took their opportunity to be proactive and aggressive before, and actually they have to play safe and slow it down a little bit before they get the ultimates. So good start from Team SIU. I like to see how they punish the Summoner's advantage later on, because Gilgamesh just have heal eiters.
That's right, he went for the cleanse pick with the new lethal tempo. So I've experienced it. Like, the new lethal tempo is quite strong on champions like Jinx. And if they get into like a team fight later on in the late game, stacking with Q is just going to be utter decimation, I feel.
Oh yeah, on top of rapid fire cannon and the rocket form, Jinx range would be insane. But lethal tempo aside, what are thoughts on the first strike by the Corki in the mid lane? Because as he said, Corki wants to fight a Twist of Fate 1v1. So having this rune, what do you think about it? What advantage do you think it will bring on the table for Coconut?
Well, I think, obviously, apart from the gold advantages and somewhat damage advantages, he can get his items a little bit faster in terms of like the gold he might get from being able to poke out the TF. And then having those item advantages just means better map presence, because like he'll be able to push into like the TF with the damage he does on minions and as well. And then he can just like get some cross map plays, some roams, and just, be a powerful force on the map.
Well said, well said. And another thing that's feel like could just ever so slightly accelerate his late game power spike.
Well, we can see the junglers trying to go in for a quick trade. Oh, and we have a first blood in the in the top lane. Actually, a solo kill onto the thing, onto the Gwen. Sorry, and then now we have another fight in the jungle, and Team SIU are getting kills after kills, but then it's a follow up by the Corki, and the Corki is going to fall as well. So that's 3 quick kills onto the side of Team SIU, and a TP invested by Edwin as well to try and follow up on the TF, but it's a TP that he's gonna have to waste and go back to the top lane. Wow, that was a lot of action that just happened within the first 3 minutes.
Really love it. Really love the aggression from Team SIU. We said it. They need to be the proactive one early to mid game, and they're showing it right now. And we missed the solo kill on the top side, but Red Bandit there disrespecting the fact that Coconut does not have exactly that much of a lane prior, so to speak, and he went for his face-to-face invade, which resulted in the Lilia and Twist of Fate answering first, and overall, a really positive trade for Team SIU. Really like their aggression so far.
Yeah, and I think even... Oh, and there was a kill on the bot side as well. I don't know what happened there. I think maybe if we look back on it later that it was Alex who got the kill, and I think Red Bandit just went for an invade that he shouldn't have again, with no idea where the enemy bot lane was, or maybe with his bot lane not having prio. And then he just, fell to another room. Oh, and we can see Alex making a Hex Flash into the bush. And a stun onto the Kaisa, and they're looking for a trade in the bot lane. Looking pretty favored for Team ELB right now, but the Lilia is here as well.
Here.
And that's a kill onto the Lilia against the Leona, and that's just another quick 2 kills for the side of Team SIU. Team ELB kind of collapsing at the early game.
That was really sloppy from Team ELB. They knew the Leona did not have to flash up. They had to flash his advantage, and really good job by Sir Wallace. We saw him flashing into the bush with the Hex Slash and then getting the hook off, which is a really good pressure point. But once the initial engage from Team SIU was done, I felt like Team ELB should have just backed off. You had the summoner spell disadvantage, and instead they committed to the fight, which resulted in it turning to a 3v2 fight in favor of Team SIU, which a clean trade, 1-0, Team SIU coming on top.
Well, technically 2-0 because the jungler died a little bit earlier in the jungle as well, just like a minute or so earlier. So that's
a really good point.
Yeah. And the jungler quite behind now, down 12 CS and is 0-2 right now. What do you think he should do to try and come back from such a deficit right now?
It's gonna be really difficult, but what he has to do now is to farm up, get as much experience as possible, and look for a probable gank down up top lane. As you can see to the top side, Team SIU does not exactly have the best vision right now. So, with how aggressive Kyoto Ghost is playing, I see the one way for Team ELB and the Red Bandit to come back from this is to get a sneaky gank on top lane.
So I just changed the blue side vision. As you can see that there's another gank up on the top side for Edwin, and I think he's gonna just go down here. There's no way out of this one. And you can see that's because they have no vision on the top side as well. The river is completely dark, and topside jungle is completely dark for the side of Team SIU. So having him step up, even just the slightest, can be deadly at this point. And he's now down a level, and the set has ult as well for the next fight, and down 17 or so, 11 CS or so. And this is just really hard early game for Team ELB.
Almost 3,000 goal apart right now, and if you look at the counter, it's like ultimates across the board for Team SIU, except for the bot lane. But this is what we said: the Twist of Fate and the set solo lanes are really good at this roaming potential, and we see how I need this or Harry rather. He's very crucial in his ganks, very good timing ganks. But one thing I do want to point out is the lack of warding around both solo laners is quite a dangerous meta of play style, I would say, because so far it's going to the favor of Team SIU, but
and we get a trade skirmish in the mid lane. Sorry about that.
Coconut here taking a big chunk of damage. Now that's gonna give Lashin a lot of lane prior here.
I just wanted to bring your attention to that, like, you can see that top side is completely warded for the side of Team SIU as well, and as we're looking for actually a skirmish on the top side, Miyani going in. Do you think he can get the kill onto here? Oh, the ult in from the set, and he doesn't win this. Actually, this is a solo kill, a huge blunder on the side of team's ELB, Edwin, going in for a trade that he did not end up winning, and just his losses just keep getting bigger.
That was far too ambitious from Yanni. You're a whole level down,
and that's actually the flash in from the Leona and going in for a huge trade onto. Oh, and that's a great hook from the side of Alex, and he gets the kill onto it, but I think it might be traded over, and that's might be more worth because that's gold onto the 80 carry rather than... And that's a... Oh my goodness, I cannot keep up with what's happening right now, and that's a double kill onto... Triple, actually! It's triple, actually, onto the 80 carry, so that's huge gold onto Ivan right now, and I think that's worth in more ways than one, because, like, you invested Twisted Fate ult, you invested... I mean, you just gave gold over to the 80 carry. That's who you want to have the gold anyway.
That was a really good play from Gilgamesh, but a misplay from Lashin as well. But like you said, this is a hard Team ELB victory because Jinx is one of the late game carries you want to get fed. Getting 3 kills this early on.
And that's actually another solo kill on the Pablo. So Edwin just not having the best of games. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see actually that like the top side is still completely dark on the side of it, so he might even be susceptible to another gank in the next few minutes or so. Because we don't even see where Lilia is right now.
This is the effects of the 3 kills in bot lane. Now, Team ELB, they get the priority dragon, they get the first dragon of the game. Very well played. However, I do want to point out one more X factor, I would say, for Team ELB is that a set this fed could easily face bomb with Jinx.
Absolutely. I mean, if he decides to go for something like maybe Stride Break or something to, like, you know, cut off the mobility or like the movement speed that Jinx might have, then he could just follow up with a combo and then, you know, it'll do probably enough.
Exactly.
And then here's the gank again, as I predicted that would have happened because he still has no vision on the top side. And now it's just
0-5 start for Miani and Gwen. This is just not going well for him. I could see where it was coming from as Kyoto Ghost hasn't exactly reset yet, so item-wise they were still on equal footing, but the aggression that Miani has displayed with the lack of vision, it has heavily punished him this game.
Absolutely, and I can understand why in certain situations the trade might have looked good, because honestly, despite being 2 levels down, that trade was pretty close, but just the idea that... Oh, and as we see Corki going to it... Not enough follow-up damage, but there is a follow-up stun onto the Thresh, and the Thresh gets a flash, and they get a flash out of that trade as well. But Lilia is also on the bot side with the Predator-ing in. Might be able to get a huge Sleepy. That's a 3-man Sleepy actually from the side of Harry. And is there any follow-up on it? And there,
there's the ulti from SIIUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUUU
well, oh, gets hooked actually, and then he's gonna go down as well. There's a shutdown over onto Sir Alex, but then that's a huge team fight win on the side of Team SIU. And now, but on the top side, we have more action, but you know, I think he's quite healthy still. But I think he's eventually going to go down. And that's a huge shutdown, actually. 700 gold onto the Gwen. And my oh my, I just can't keep up with the amount of action that's happening.
Everything happened at once across the map, and I would like to bring back to the point in the top lane fight where it ended. Kyoto Ghost had most of his armor shredded by the Trundle ultimate, and this is what I would call a reflection of what would happen in later team fights. The Trundle places the ult on the set loses most of its tankiness, and the Gwen can follow the damage and just delete him. Whereas in the bot side, initially it was looking so much better for Team ELB who made the first move, but Coconut didn't exactly get the best package placement, and Sir Wallace followed by a really good hook, but although not connecting. It gave enough pressure, the Lilia came, the Twist of Fate came, and it just became a huge bloodbath, which resulted in Team SIU's victory in the team fight overall.
7 kill gap and about a 5,000 gold lead. And now as we see here in the middle lane, just wow.
Just deleted.
Instantly deleted by the follow-up. That's actually exactly what the TFL should be doing, and exactly what he is doing, and full points to Jonas there for all of that.
However, to give Team ELB some credit as well, Team SIU are not getting out of this kill so far. They just got a kill, but they're not getting any objectives on the map. They're not setting up any vision around deep vision in the jungle. So in fact, it's Gilgamesh that actually got a lot of go from turret platings. I would still see this as a minor team, only a minor team, Team SIU win rather. Sorry, because otherwise they did not get too much done with that kill.
But that is gold in the pocket nonetheless, and it's always nice to have. But as you're right, it is just a minor because of there was no follow-up in terms of objectives. But looking at the farm across the board now, 20 CS deficit for Edwin, about 30 for the side of Trundle, and mid lane is struggling a bit as well. In trying to get those bot lane plays, but the TF being able to be TF being TF, he's able to push the wave, just maybe ult in, and that's given him like a huge lead. 2 levels above and about 20 CS above. It's just looking like a good game for the side of Jonas right now.
I would agree, but then let's not forget about Gilgamesh right now. Almost 40 CS up and a full item. He has completed a full item. In fact, he's 1.5 items right now. So this Jinx would be the focal carry point of Team ELB for at least the next 10 minutes before Corki and Gwen starts to climb back from the huge deficits if they do.
As you can see, they actually dropped the Herald topside, so that allows Edwin to get some gold back, and as well as Red Bandit. I don't remember if he stayed or not, but the platings are down, and they managed to get 4 of the plates on the top side, so that's gold in the pocket of Edwin as well, so that's always nice to have. And they need all the gold they can get in terms of anything so that they can come back into this one. And objective bounties are up now as well for the side of Team ELB, and rightly so because they're about 4k or so gold down, and just in a commandeering position right now, Team SIU. Miss ult from the Leona. And nothing too crazy happening, but it's actually a 5-man bot side, so they might be looking to either take this turret or, just move towards the dragon. And, nothing really Team SIU can do except just watch as it goes down. In the meantime, in the mid lane, Coconut is trying to get, some gold back, trying to push the turret as much as he can. But is that a TP from the... That's a TP from the TF, actually, to try and, stop anything from happening. But he's going to go... Is he going to try and go over the wall, actually? And he stole the dragon! He gets it! He gets an objective bounty for his team, and that's actually quite worth gold on the side of Team ELB. That's sacrificial act.
Not landing the smite.
Sacrificial act, but I think it was worth it. Free gold inside the pockets of Team SIU right now. I mean ELB, sorry.
Essentially, all the setup that Team SIU was done in the bot lane, committing all 5 members down the bot lane.
And there's a predator on the bot side as well, so now Harry gonna follow up with I think he might just be dead here. Oh, actually? Okay, wait, that's gold in the back pocket of Ivan as well. This is double kill for him actually. The Jinx doing work now with the item advantage that he has over the Kaisa, and honestly, I think that's a worth trade for the side of Team ELB.
Team SIU has botched the bot lane play twice now. And I've gone back to the setup before the Dragon Steal. They committed all 5 members down to bot lane, and then they sent Twisted Fate back to mid lane to teleport. They missed smite. They did not smite the dragon. So not only was the dragon stolen, they tried to go back in for another play, knowing that the Jinx did not have a flash up back in the time. But they overcommit, and they were not tanky enough. They underestimated the Jinx's damage, and that just cost them heavily, giving 2 more kills to the Jinx, who is now miles ahead of the Kaisa.
And I want to quickly bring your attention that the top side turret has fallen for the side of Edwin, which is good for him because now, but even though he is 2 levels down, that's turret gold in his pocket as well. And I'm honestly kind of surprised because based on how ahead Kyoto Ghost was and how often he's pushing into lane, I was sure that, the turret would have been his for sure. But after falling to the gank on top side a few minutes ago, and with the Herald falling, that's money in his pocket. But now as we see a skirmish on the top side, actually, Kyoto Ghost actually doing a decent trade, but Edwin also holding his own, and he actually gets the solo kill.
Solo kill back, and in the jungle as well, the skirmish is happening left, right, and center.
So top side falls, but jungle falls for the side of Team ELB, but that's actually... There's this signs of life for the side of Team SIU that Edwin was able to hold his own against the set. because the set had wasted W because he had tanked too much damage from trying to focus on the turret as well. But now, as you can see, another 4-man bot side. That's a good Gale Force on the side from Ivan to try and get away from all that. And they get away with
I'm
it.
starting to think Team SIU is feeling much too pressure to do things on the map because of perhaps because of the 2 misplays early on, because now they're just unnecessarily committing to fights, to skirmishes. They're just going all out, as apparently by Kyoto Ghost, who had such a huge lead over Miyani early on, but then he went for the 1v1 again with the Ignite on the Gwen still up. So as you can see the top fight just now, Gwen just ignited Set, and that was over. Set could not regen enough to Gold Drinker either, and with the ultimate and the Omni Wamp, it's just, the Gwen just comes back from that, just solo kills.
On the package in as well, I think Alex just might be dead here. Hex flashed over the bush and just started walking away, but I don't know what he was trying to do there. And that's a kill to Corki as well, so that's good for them. Good for him, I mean.
Now, I do want to bring our attention back to what we spoke in the drafting phase, where we said the main carry of Team SIU has to be that Kaisa, whereby Team ELB, they have 2 hyper carries, so to speak, with in the Corki and the Jinx, and not to say Gwen isn't a carry, but it just shows how scary Team ELB's team comp is in the late game when they have 2 hyper carries in the form of Corki and Jinx, and the Gwen who could dish out a lot of damage in her own right as well. And rightfully so, as Team ELB, 9 out of the 11 kills so far. In fact, yeah, 10 out of the 11 kills so far, sorry, are on the carries, whereas on the side of Team SIU, the Kaisa, who's the only carry point, only has 1 kill and 9 assists.
So it's not as worth as it could have been. Right, yeah, exactly. And then now we see another gank on the top side. Red Banner going in. I think the Trundle had ulted the Set as what he should have done. Exactly. And I think Kyoto Ghost might just be dead here as the damage coming out from the Gwen is... So I think Edward is making a huge comeback after being an 0-5 deficit with down almost 50 CS or 30 CS or so in the early game, and now making a strong comeback into this. He's almost even in CS. He's up 3 kills. I mean, he's not up, sorry. He's matching almost 3 kills as well. And things are just looking better and better for the side of Team ELB right now.
Team ELB is showing more than signs of life. As we said, Edwin was 0-5, and he's now 3-5. I would say, arguably, he once he resets, rather, he will have even better itemization than the Set. This is quite unplayable now in terms of 1v1 scenario. I do not think the Set can contest or aggressively fight the Gwen in the 1v1 anymore.
Absolutely.
And like we said, the gold distribution is just not optimal for Team SIU. It's mostly on the Lilia.
Exactly. I was just about to bring your attention to that because I was like, okay, wait, I just noticed that the Lily has a 700 gold bounty. And if they get a shutdown onto that, that's just going to be huge for them. Ryan goes in and with no follow-up. Yeah. Unfortunate that, you know, that she landed that, but then unfortunate that there was no follow-up because no one was around to, you know, do anything about that. That's one of the downsides of being alone as Lilia, because if you do that then and you have no follow-up, then it's just pretty much doomed for you.
But yeah, I'd say it was obvious miscommunication.
That's a huge hook from the side. And the hook lands as well, but I think this is going to be another kill onto the Jinx as well, so a relatively worth trade. So showing a very dominating performance in the AD carry position as he normally does, but...
I would like to bring attention to one thing as well. Gilgamesh is now 1 full item ahead of the Kaisa.
That's right, 60 CS above. So the gold deficit that was huge in the early game is now slowly closing in.
The problem with this is, Team SIU, they're still up by 3,000 gold, but again, it's the 3,000 gold is mostly on the Lilia, and the later the game goes, the lesser the Lilia can do because she is relatively squishy. If she gets caught by any of the crowd control from the side of Team ELB, she will get deleted, and then they will have much less sustained damage on the side of Team SIU. Team ELB, they're just playing the early game deficit out really well, on top of a lot of unforced errors, I would say, from Team SIU.
I just wanted to quickly toggle the vision between the two sides. As you can see, so the vision on the side of Team ELB is still relatively dark throughout the entire map. So they could possibly, like, if they walk into a wrong bush, they could be collapsed on at any given moment. But I think that's good vision control on the side of Team SIU as well, you know, getting vision where they're necessarily needed right now. And as we see that Edwin is looking for a trade onto the TF, and that's actually huge damage as well, and misses out on the second part of the ult, but still a relatively worth a trade. And now there's a follow-up by Harry onto the Gwen. And that's huge damage, and there's this free shutdown onto the Lilia. But then again, it is the Lilia again. It is the Lilia.
It is the Lilia.
She's now two items.
Because Lilia can do a lot of damage. But as the game progresses later on, we've spoken about the range advantage that Team ELB has in the Jinx, especially the lethal tempo, and Corki with the package. They can catch off the Lilia very easily without committing too much. So it is dangerous for Team SIU to be putting their carry point on the Lilia now, in fact.
I agree. But the Lilia is currently an item and a half above the Trundle, but then again, that is because she has the most kills on her team. His team. I mean, but I say her because, you know, it's the champion.
Oh, that's a skirmish in the jungle. Yeah, you can see just how squishy she actually is. That was 1 Q from Red Bandit, and it took quite a decent chunk of HP out. So far, Team SIU is still healthily in the lead by about 5,000 gold, but Team ELB, they're showing signs of life in the late game, and I'm getting quite unconfident, rather, in Team SIU's team fighting as the game goes on. The ideal situation right now would be the Lilia landing the perfect sleep on both hyper carries of Team ELB. Otherwise, Team ELB can just simply outrange the opposing team and just take the fight away. As you see, Jonas the ultimate.
Oh.
Perfect.
No further follow-up. Yeah, no further follow-up. That's good for him. But the Predator used it, and now actually there's a fight happening in the mid lane. Jonas TPing in.
Emanating again. Overcoming on the Leona.
And it was lucky that he was able to catch it, but I think that's because he has a rapid-fire cannon, so that additional range on the TF with the gold card was just able to catch her out and, you know, able to make that play happen.
We've seen this miscommunication happen where the support goes in, but the carries wants it out.
The dragon is coming up soon, within the next 30 seconds or so. And
Coconut
how do you think
does have his package?
He does have package, but how do you think it's gonna play out?
I'm not sure if Team ELB are willing to contest this right now, because their loner is still down. Gwen is still pushing top lane, but they have teleport. It's not a big deal.
They're all walking towards the dragon right now anyway, so 10 seconds. I think they're just gonna give this up. I mean, unless Red Bandit wants to go for another steal again and try to, you know, another hero moment for his team. But I think it's just more worth because all 5 members are walking down for the Gwen to be split pushing, which is what she's doing right now.
Team SIU, like I said, they're committing all 5 members to the dragon, but
that bubble hits 2, and then there's 2, and there's no further follow-up. There's a good route onto the Lilia. And there's a good lantern out. Oh, there's actually a TP from Edwin on the top side, and now there's a huge team fight happening right now, and that's huge. And there's 2 quick kills, and I think the side of Team ELB just collapsed.
And out of nowhere, Team SIU just
dominate the team fight
beautifully. I had my doubts, but they proved me wrong.
I hope you don't mind, but I'd like to rewind that because I need to see what the hell happened. Let's go back in time just 5 seconds or so, just because everything just happened so crazily.
I think we need more than 5 seconds, but we'll watch the fight replay. Brought to you by Avue, and roughly a quarter.
Well, okay, well, you know, I need to get back more than 10 seconds, it seems. Okay, here we go.
You can see the initial start from the Lilia. And then Gwen teleports right into the dragon pit.
And then gets a lantern out, and then now Edwin is left by himself to try and fend off the entire team, but then that's a huge W onto the team from Kyoto Ghost as well, following up with the rest of the team as well, and Kaisa getting 2 quick kills onto the backside as well. And then the whole team just collapsing around, and then Jonas going in for the gold card doesn't follow up because of the cleanse, but that's a good cleanse out of Ivan, but that's just the freest team fight from the side of Team SIU. Huge win in that regard, and now they got the dragon as well.
So much, and they got nothing out of it. It's a 4 for nothing and a dragon.
And that's two that's two mountains right now. And who's to say if they get the soul, they won't be unstoppable.
And with that, they can go straight to Baron as well, which is spoiled by the time frame there.
Oh, my bad. Alright, let's pretend that didn't happen. So they're walking their way to the Barry Pit right now. As you can tell, we're rookies. Rookie controls.
Definitely, definitely.
But that's what makes it fun as well, right?
It makes it us. And everyone's gonna start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But now, 8k gold up on the side of Team SIU.
And you were saying earlier that, you know, the gold might have been in the wrong place, but now the gold might start showing up in the right places with the 300 gold extra on the Kaisa as well.
I'll say the last few team fights, the gold has been going to really good places on the Twist of Fate and the Kaisa. As even in the last team fight, Kaisa actually got both kills out of the 4.
Right, exactly. But there is a bit of a CS differential in the bot lane with the 100 CS almost for the side of Ivan over Luke right now. But that's to be expected, just because we know how Ivan plays and stuff. But not to take anything away from Luke, he's been positioning as quite well in these team fights as well, which is why he got those 2 kills earlier in the fight.
I have to agree, but it's also more of the setup the Team SIU has, as I was about to compliment them for it, because, like we said earlier in the game, Ivan is super fed right now on the Jinx, but he does pose the risk that the set can just go on his face very easily, and that's exactly what happened in the last team fight. Gilgamesh could not get into a position where he can consistently do damage as Kyoto Ghost just ulted someone right in front of him, forcing the back out of the fight.
They kind of got split because as they were like trying to engage and try to disengage at the same time because of the charge that Harry made with his Predator, and then, you know, with the sleep. Oh, there's a hook onto the Trundle right now. But that's a stun follow-up.
Well. Gilgamesh is here though.
Gilgamesh is here, but that's a Sleepy on. Good save from the Sleepy.
The root! The Kaisa! There's a shutdown!
And that's a double kill for the Kaisa as well, and that's a huge shutdown onto the Kaisa as well from the Jinx.
Okay, has to run.
The Corki, I don't know why he's staying. He doesn't do enough damage to 2v1 that, I think, and he just face tanked everything. And I think it's going to be an ace. That's an ace for the Titus Team SIU right now.
Baron buff. This is at least one inhibitor for Team SIU. Fights breaking out on both opposite ends of the map. And Team SIU, they came on top. They caught Gilgamesh without his cleanse up and they committed. You saw the Twist of Fate ult, the Lilia ult.
I think it was very smart of the Lilia to save ult until he saw the Jinx, you know, in a vulnerable position, and then used it on her when it was necessary. And then the team followed up after that to get the free shutdown onto the Jinx. And especially, it's more important that the Kaisa got it as well, because now the gold's onto her as well.
As you commend Lilia on the ult timing, I would commend Kaisa on hers as well, as he flew in after Jinx has used the Gale Force. So there was absolutely no more escape on the side of Gilgamesh, and he just had to stand there and take it. However, this does not mean that it's the end for Team ELB as well, as we've seen towards the end of the fight where the Corki was left alone against 2 people. He was still near one-shotting to both carries of Team SIU.
We're looking here now. It might be the Leona might be caught out here. And I think she's just pretty much gone. I don't think she should have been there at the time. I mean, look at this vision from the side of Team ELB. It's complete darkness. You might have thought that Nocturne ulted the map or something just based on how dark it is for them.
I would have thought they were a team of Lee Sins if you catch my drift.
But the Baron buff is gone, but, you know, they're sieging the base. Yeah. Mid inhibitor gone.
Huge mistake from Team ELB, leaving both carries on the bot lane.
And now they might in a position to get easily collapsed on if they decide to walk up. You know, this might be objective bounty on in the pocket for Team ELB, but just
if they're feeling aggressive, they can still go after Corki.
Yeah, you can see them passing down right now. You can see the Lilia walking towards the bot side as well. I think he might just be caught out here. And with the rapid fire cannon, easily catches him out.
The Kaisa's gonna fly. Is the Kaisa gonna fly? Kaisa Airlines? And the Lilia gets it. Rampage for I need this.
12, 1, and 12. A very dominant performance from him, setting his team up for success in this game, I think. despite the minor hiccup, of missing the smite on the first dragon or so, but coming up very nicely for his team when it counts.
And that's a Dragon Soul point for Team SIU if they get this, and I presume they will as...
Oh, and there's a flash over. An attempt was
again.
made, but
Attempt
it didn't
down.
happen. And that's just more gold to the pocket of the Kaisa.
And that's the flash committed as well, the flash ult and the dragon. Team ELB, they were looking really good towards the mid game, and now Team SIU, they're 11k rather up ahead.
Oh, that's a stopwatch.
Oh, that's,
I think that was a misclick.
Stopwatch from Lilia.
But I think he's just maybe showing that I don't think I need it anymore. I might just not need it anymore, man. Look at how the game state is going.
That was a good ultimate landed by the Corki into Kaisa. Team SIU, are they thinking about it? It's still, they might be 11,000 up, but it's still risky to fight on the tower with the Jinx and the Corki alive.
But I'm not too sure that they can do what is necessary, because look at the level gap. There's 2 levels on the mid lane, but there's 4 actually in the jungle, 2 on the top side. It's only where the bot lane is where Ivan has the lead over Luke in terms of the XP. Just based on the CS
we
alone.
cannot discount that lead because Gilgamesh, he has 4.5 items right now. He's almost full items actually, if you include the boots. That's 5.5 items. And we know what Jinx can do with full items. So it's interesting to see, can Team ELB hang on to this one focal carry point, or will Team SIU be able to shut it down effectively? As the Baron is up right now. And again, the complete lack of vision from the side of Team ELB. They just haven't been able to go deep warding because they're just so far behind.
I think that's quite evident in the vision scores as well. If you look at the difference between the Leona and the Thresh right now.
They're actually down in all lanes in terms of vision score.
About the same in the mid lane, but doesn't really matter.
Evidently not at this point because the map is completely dark, and that's the Baron sneaked away.
Oh, I think Edwin might just fall down here.
They get a kill on top of that as well.
But that is actually a lot of damage onto the... Wait, but that is a huge trade actually. Oh, unlucky on the ult timing, but...
Oh, the flash from Lilia though. The package is... Coconut thinking to fight this. He does have the damage.
He does have the damage and followed was... And that's actually a shutdown. Onto the Lilia, actually that's huge gold onto him as well, but then now they have to defend the base.
Snipe as well.
With no flash and stopwatch on the Lilia, now they have to match the base because now with the Baron buff, the Set and the Kaisa are extremely strong.
Big mistake from Team ELB. Corki and Trundle, they're not recalling.
They're just leaving the base open. I'm not sure exactly what's happening right now.
This is a huge mistake. They did not commit to the inhibitor tower.
But that's a lot of damage actually.
That's Simon dead.
And that's it. I think that should be game.
Can the Corki carry this though? That's a lot of damage on the Kaisa.
That's a hook onto Leona. Is there any follow-up from that? No, there isn't. But Ivan might be dead, but the game isn't completely over yet. He finished his 5th item, so he's full build now. Still in a position where he can dish a lot of damage in the team fights should he position well.
Again, Team ELB, a fatal error. Leaving the Baron buff Team SIU to push as they sent 2 players bot lane. Just very big errors from the side of Team ELB right now. They're giving Team SIU the resources they need to maintain the lead in this game. They should not have been split up, knowing that Team SIU had the Baron buff and the minion wave pushing in. Coming into game 2, whoever comes out on top, I would say Team ELB, they would have to work on this issue. As you can see now, we have transitioned into a slightly more peaceful state of the game, where it's not fights breaking out every 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, and now we're seeing vision control with the dragon coming up as well. And no flash on the Trundle should he want to go for a steal.
Exactly, and Team ELB, they have to fight this, otherwise it's so point, and this would negate the effect of the Trundle ultimate, as we said, on the Set. the set will be much tankier now with these Mountain Soul, and it'll be much
I
harder
think
to
they're
catch
just going to
up
give
whenever
this
the
up because
Kai'Sa
I
does
don't think
invade.
there's really anything they can do. If they get caught up by the set or the Lily, I think it's pretty much just doomed for them.
I would have to say they might look for the all in. They might just say it's do or die. It could be do or die. They might Hail Mary this.
Oh, that's a hook onto. Oh, and then Luke follows in. And Edwin is still on the top side, but that's more kills over. And then now,
I think that's game.
I think that should be game, right? And he has no teleport, and then I think it's just pretty much doomed for them. And that's Luke, Ivan dead as well. That's pretty much game.
That's game 1 going on to Team SIU.
Edwin is still top side, and I think you know it's pretty much just the same as like okay, the game's pretty much over. I think we could just let it go, and then try to focus on the next game.
40 seconds on the clock for both carries, and 22 seconds on the jungler, and that's game 1.
That's
game
huge.
1 going on to Team SIU.
Team SIU. Huge victory for them. Almost a 24 kill difference. Great performance out of Harry, particularly, and Kyoto Ghost, I would say. Great positioning from Luke to, despite being down in CS and stuff, he made his contribution to the team. Just all around great team performance from Team SIU game 1.
Very good performance. Strong performance from Team SIU, and some questionable
decision making. Yep, I will definitely say that. Address in the next one.
Exactly. So now, as the players are prepping for game 2, the script is as we have gone over. Team ELB, towards the mid game, they showed signs of life. They had a really few good team fights that resulted in Gilgamesh getting a lot of kills on the Jinx. However, I would say 2 main decisions caught them off. And both of them were the same. They sent the both carries to the opposite side of the maps while Team SIU were pushing into the base. That gave up enough pressure that led to the Baron taken by Team SIU, Soul taken by Team SIU, and it was just a complete wash from then on.
I think we have a quick little interview from Alex, who was on Team SIU. Let's try to get him in here.
Let's try to get him in from Sir Waz III from Team SIU after game 1 victory over Team ELB.
Yo.
Okay, hold on. Let me just get set up real quick.
Yeah, take your time, buddy.
Post-match interview. We're still trying to get used to all this controls and stuff.
Yeah, no problems. How's that game? Was it busting?
It was. How do you feel about that one, man?
I think we did pretty well.
Wait.
I mean, in terms of our casting, we did well. Okay, but now, how do you feel about winning? How do you feel about winning that one?
I can't wait to see it. I'm super stoked. Stoked.
No, but how do you feel about winning that first game? What do you feel like?
Definitely good. It was really nice to get that level 1 flash off the Leona. We fucking abused that shit so hard. I think we kind of I think they didn't call our bluff because it probably looked like in the Fog of War that there was more than just me, which is why she flashed. But other than that, that was a well-deserved win. That just felt juicy. We had the CC, we had the synergies. It was beautiful. The dive was just immaculate.
I mean, would you say that at some point, you were kind of nervous by the way, Team ELB was kind of catching up with gold on the side with gold on Ivan, gold on Edwin after getting maybe a solo kill in top lane? Were you kind of nervous, or were you just nah, we got this the whole way through?
No, honestly, I was a bit uh-oh. When we gave, those 3 kills down bot, that was oh no. Oh, that was 5 minutes of hard work just gone to shit. It was all gone. I was just oh fuck, nah. And then when Edwin got the kill, oh no. Dude, it's all going down. Nah, but, we just slowed down a bit. And then we're yeah, it's, nothing too much changed. They still have objective bounties, therefore we're probably still ahead. And we kept our head cool and we just went on.
I was impressed in particular with the play down bot side. When Corky came in with the package, you flashed out early, but you lived long enough to, follow up with a couple more hooks that, changed the fight because Harry came down with the Lilia ult and everything, and just it became a 4 for almost nothing in that fight as well. So, kudos to you, man.
Thanks. I don't know what you can say. Just thanks. I'll play it, I guess. Unlucky.
So now you're going into game 2. what is like? What do you think anything's gonna change, or what is the expectation going into game 2?
Honestly, I think they're gonna ban more towards the bot lane. I think their bot lane is very abusable.
Mm-hmm.
And they might. I think they're gonna give bans towards top and bot because those were like maybe the weaker sides. Mid was pretty solid. Jungle was fine. Like I'm not too sure what's going on. I just feel like they're just not gonna let us replicate what we did last game with all the synergies, with all the CC. So I'm gonna see probably more targeted bans towards maybe me or Harry. I think.
All right. I mean that makes sense. So I'll leave you to it. Good luck on game 2.
All right, thanks, dude.
Thanks
Okay.
for joining me and J-Man on this post-match interview. Good luck on game 2.
Oh, so formal.
Best.
Jeez, dude.
I called 2-0.
All right.
He's calling 2-0. I want a
2-0.
3-game series, man. So I'm not saying you should int, but if you
Dude,
could give us 3 games, that would be
wait,
nice.
I'm checking my phone. Wait, what's this PayPal? $50? Okay, wait. Okay, I'm gonna pick the Velcos support next game. Okay.
Okay, can't
later.
wait to see it. Bye.
See you
Yeah.
later.
Bye.
Well then.
Touch. Daryl's saying he can stream League to us and he can stream to YouTube.
I mean,
Do you
okay,
think
so
that'll
the problem is right now that I'm having some errors with the stream
right,
itself
yeah.
because I can't even actually stream to YouTube itself. So
Yeah, it's actually YouTube's problem right now. I forgot about that. It's not as much of Taj's problem. It's actually more of YouTube's now.
yeah, so that's why we're doing the recording, and this way, based on like there were some minor technical issues on my end, me controlling the camera, J-Man not getting the stream. We can always edit those out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can we stay in the call then?
I mean, sure.
You can hear the casting as well. Okay.
I mean, just join the other call because I can't stream on this call for
Yeah.
J-Man.
So you guys are listening to casting live?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you
Is
can
it
also
on
watch the
the
stream because I'm gonna
stream?
stream. Yeah, I'm streaming to YouTube. I mean, Discord as well.
At interview though.
How was it? How was it? How was it? How was it?
You're a pretty good interviewer, Taj.
Thank you. Thank you.
I feel like I'm watching a Premier League match and the after interview when it's
No,
just
you should have seen the casting. Like surprisingly, Taj and they clicked this time round.
Dude, how are the game? How was
Oh, it
the
was
game?
actually pretty banger, but I think Harry's team absolutely fucking smashed the other team.
Harry what?
Harry's team
Harry fucking
smashed.
smashed.
It was 40-16 or 26. Sorry, 40 to. No, it was. Wait, was it 16 or 26?
Freaking roll.
I think it's around there because Harry at one point was 12-1 and 12.
Oh shit! Yeah, it was probably like 40-16 or something like that.
Yeah.
I just saw like there's so many times there was ganking like and Edwin I feel like got fucked on multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Edwin. Oh no, the top lane. Ripperoonies.
You can. I can't wait to like upload. I think both our analysis were on point.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
Wait, do we need to
go.
go back down?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
I just meet yourself, I guess, Sean.
Oh.
So now we're waiting for the teams to arrange themselves in the lobby, so you could just stare at the lobby. I mean, you guys can probably just stay in until we actually start the champ select.
I'll look at some
Oh,
water.
are you recording separately?
No.
Okay.
I'm recording my audio just in case.
Okay. Sheesh.
Oh man, I'm actually having so much fun right now, despite not playing.
This is fun, no?
It
I
is
feel like
fun.
setting this stuff
I'm
up.
so happy that we did this.
Sheesh. You're gonna play. What else? Valencias?
Yeah, I'm playing Valencias.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. I haven't touched the shooters in like 10 months, so
Maybe you should touch it soon.
I want to touch
Or
you.
else you're gonna get rolled by me.
But I want to touch you though. I don't want to touch the game. I want to touch you. Oh shit, that's
Whoa.
going in the recording. Shit.
Do you have
See.
enough space to record all this?
I do. I have a 1 TB hard drive that I just bought.
Duh.
Actually, you bought it for this
Yeah, I actually bought it for Avue games. Wallah.
dedication.
Wait, can you hear if people join the call later?
No.
Okay, so Ronan can join later, right? If he's
Yeah.
muted.
Actually, wait. Can you test that real quick?
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, I
hear
can
that?
hear it. No.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll just tell him to perma-mute.
Yeah, permute.
Bro, that transition is so clean. How long did it take you to make that?
Not.
Oh,
I don't
nice, nice.
God.
I don't know. I don't count. It's been. Wait, who's listening to that? Ronan was in the other call for a bit. What the hell?
Okay, so actually, what I made a mistake was I couldn't get because we went into that podcast room, right? So I couldn't stream Discord because otherwise I would have just showed my entire like history or like my logs and stuff. So I had to this time around for the second game, I'll just move them into this call. I accidentally moved it to the other call because they're two calls with the same name.
Wait, huh?
You'll see it in
happened?
the VOD later.
Okay.
There's gonna be a part where they do virtual handshakes in the name of sportsmanship.
Sure. All right. Or I mean, I think at the post game, I think in the post like series thing, there's just gonna be a bunch of shit talking. Like I think if Alex and Ivan, they're just gonna like fuck you, and it's just gonna
Wait, are we
be
doing the thing where you get one from each team? And
yeah
then
at the
you
end, at the
both-
very end, very
Man,
end.
That's gonna be so good. That is gonna be so good.
Or why don't we get everybody?
You actually think it's a no,
The
no,
spectators like Daryl Ronan and we're gonna be like, oh,
No, I mean like wouldn't it be funny if like I mean
Maybe
like
two,
you
two,
can
maybe two.
okay actually no I think maybe winning team like entire winning team and like one representative from the other team from the losing team because I want to like
you choose your choice.
because it's the idea of like I want everyone to like say like okay well it was a good game I think I did this well you know maybe I could have done this better you know the other team was garbage you know good banter.
Honestly, that's what I wanted, dude. But then Edwin was like, no, I think you should just do one from each team. I was like, we should do 5-5. Like, you interview both teams on that one.
no, then it'd just be a lot of team blaming. I would.
No, it's a ping, it's a ping, it's a ping.
It was like my team said, "Oh shit, today, man. I don't know what the fuck that went on."
I mean but
Wait.
I think this will now we'll figure out their true character. That's what these interviews
You
are for.
actually think it's a 2-0, Jinming? You actually think it's a 2-0?
Okay, honestly, based on the decision making that went on, it could be a 2-0.
That's true, honestly, actually.
Like the way the game state played out and the decisions that were made, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 2-0 because you could tell like Team SIU just has that synergy there, while Team ELB is more like a group of
Team
solo people together for a
SIU.
tournament.
Yeah. I heard the comms. The team ELB, they were so silent, man.
I think they were tilted.
Yes.
So I'm
perhaps.
telling them in the lobby that if like Team C win this one, join I'll let them know when they can join this call.
This one or the other podcast room?
No, this one.
Okay.
Or actually, I think it'd be easier to
Wait.
move us to that one.
Sheesh. Do we have to be in order? Luke asked.
Yes.
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 Okay, I think we're almost ready to get back into Champ Select. Players
Alright.
are readying up. Oh, well, guess not. Time's wait. Okay, back to the starting screen.
Yeah, I think we can mute now. Sure.
Oh, they're swapping? Yo,
Yeah,
they're
'cause they
swapping.
played red side just now. Team SIU played red side just
No,
now.
no,
They're
no,
playing on blue
no.
side.
Edwin, I mean Luke and Kyoto Ghost, they lane swapped.
They can do that? Wait, they can do that? What?
I guess so.
No, they're not. They're not. They're just like really fucked up with the.
No, they said they could do it in order, but like,
Alex said no, they're not role swapping. They just like this order more. Bruh, the content.
I'm not streaming it though. I'm not recording that. Okay, I should record that. That's good stuff.
The caster desk is fuming. Taj, type it in the lobby. Caster desk order, change or kick.
Oh, they're changing it back.
Alright.
All right, okay.
Okay. Game 2.
Here we go. Game 2, Team ELB versus Team
Team
SIU.
SIU against Team ELB.
And we're back.
Let's
We're
do
now
all we go
in
full 3 today.
the pick and ban phase. All right, Kyoto Ghost up first with the first ban of Game 2. What do you think it's going to be? Take a wild shot.
It's gonna be I wouldn't say champion specifically, but it's gonna be a bot lane ban.
Okay.
Aphelios.
Aphelios? Okay. I'm going to say Jinx. If we're talking bot lane. Or no ban. Oh, Aphelios. Hey, you got it. Okay, nice.
Read it? Like, so, Team SIU, they look to be continuing their draft from game 1. So is Team ELB actually with the Vladimir first ban as well.
Again, I think they're trying to focus on Kyoto Ghost. I think they're trying to limit the champions that he plays so that maybe Edwin could have a favorable matchup.
I would say I would be surprised if they mirrored the pick and bans exactly as last game, because I do think that from the side of Team ELB, they would like to make a few changes to give them more early to mid game security, given the amount of jungle pressure Harry provides to Team ELB.
I mean, Team SIU on the. I mean, so far it's pretty much exactly the same pick and ban, the same bans as we look at the Vladimir, Kassadin, Aphelios, and Nami bans.
Yeah, they're repeating the first phase logic where Team ELB, they're playing solo lanes. Team SIU, AD carry all the way, but the kills, as we see from game 1, not all the time really. And as you speak, Team SIU, they have replicated the exact same ban in phase 1 as it did in game 1.
Did they ban LeBlanc as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So it's an exact replica of the game 1's bans in phase
I think this just speaks to the comforts that it is exactly the same pick and bans as the first one. Yeah, for both sides. Okay. So nothing's changed in the pick and bans. So I think that all that's left is the change in the draft.
We do see interesting numbers.
We do see some interesting numbers, but I don't think it's a very good idea to blind a Mordekaiser and first pick it.
Definitely not.
But someone like the TF has some versatility regardless of who he plays into, because even if he's not doing well in the mid lane, he can just go around the map where he's needed.
And I like this pick from Team SIU because in game 1 we've seen Jonas's Twist of Fate. It did provide a lot of utility across the board for Team SIU.
And with the build he was going as well.
Fantastically to top and bot, so
exactly.
I would say it's a really good pick for Team SIU. And I'm more surprised that it wasn't banned away in favor of the Vlad or the Kassadin.
And that's actually a Kaisa lock-in for Ivan as well. Now this surprises me a little. Oh,
wait, what?
I think we had a bit of technical issues.
DTOS successful. 2-0 to Team SIU, I guess. Oh, Chrono Break. The Kaisa pick was intentional.
Okay, so I mean, then I guess I think it's just maybe we'll pick the Kaisa will be picked later on in the order, but I think the Kaisa is a guaranteed pick at the moment. Which I mean, I think
the
it
Kai'Sa
worked.
will go back to Team SIU. It might go back to Team SIU then.
I don't think it will because
Oh,
despite the
wait.
technical difficulty.
Chrono break. We don't remember what happened. Let's get
Oh,
back to
what?
Game 2.
Okay. Game 2, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the first time we're ever hearing of this draft and the first time we're ever commentating on this game. And I have no idea what to expect of the pick and bans, except they might be similar to the first draft. And I think, we can see that it's happening. And I'm just commentating for no reason because we know what happened.
Yeah. So we had a chrono break there, slight draft issues, technical issues on the side of Team ELB. No matter, the phase 1 bans will be exactly the same, with the LeBlanc, Aphelios, and Nami taken out from Team ELB, and
Team
Vladimir,
SIU.
Gangplank. No, it's taken out from then. Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Taken out by Team SIU then. Never
Yeah,
mind.
taken out by Team SIU. Sorry, my bad.
Phase 1 bans are exactly the same, and if this goes to plan, then the Twisted Fate we locked in from Team SIU. As we talked about previously, it's a really good pick from the side of Team SIU.
Right, and I think it also, I think the build that I wanted to bring attention to the build that Jonas went the last game with the rapid fire cannon, really setting up for the utility of those long range goal cards that helped him set up or helped him or helped Alex follow up afterwards. Oh, and actually, wow, interesting. So the Xin Zhao and Silas pick
I
instantly
would like
from
to
the
talk
side
about
of Team.
Silas pick.
Yeah, go for it.
Because from the game 1 perspective, we've seen that Coconut was not able to match a roaming, so to speak, against Lashin, because every time, as we've seen multiple skirmishes of bot lane, even if the Corki reaches bot lane first, he could not exactly get things done before Twisted Fate arrives. So with the Silas pick, what they're doing is they aim to double teleport.
Mm-hmm. And
so
now
I like this pick from Team ELB as well, and as you spoke just now, the Kai'Sa lock in. Back with Saving Straw. Comfort pick. They are harvesting the Garen though. Do you think it'll be locked in?
I probably won't. But it's actually the Mordekaisers instead. Now, this is, I think, might be an interesting pick for the side of Team SIU because in late game team fights where Ivan might be wildly ahead, if he can get an advantage on Edwin as well, if he can dish the damage, then having to ult Ivan and separate him from his team might be very important. Or maybe even ult the jungler away in terms of objectives.
To strengthen your point, now the Jinx is locked in after Gilgamesh, and as you speak, with the Mordekaiser, even if he's not ahead in his lane, in team fights he could just ult the Jinx away, and then Team SIU would have the team fight advantage, so to speak. And even if the Jinx does have QSS, it's still a net positive for Team SIU because of QSS tags.
Exactly.
So all around, Team SIU, they're going with a slightly different pick logic this time around.
Oh, but we see an interesting ban now, the Talon coming out of Team SIU. I mean, Team ELB, sorry. And I think this is a jungler ban as well for trying to limit Harry on what he plays. And I think in professional play, Silas is probably one of the biggest or like the most played into to TF to try and match that roam potential that he has.
Exactly. As both laners, they will be likely taking teleport, and they can just both ult simultaneously. So it leads to a much better matchup, I would say, compared to a Corki against TF as game 1 happened.
And now Malphite ban again coming out from the side of Team SIU. Again, focus toward the top side.
So far, things haven't gone pretty identical in terms of the picks. Only difference being the Mordekaiser and the Xin Zhao. Kha'Zix banned away, and that is target ban against Harry, like you said, because Kha'Zix is his comfort champion, one of his main comfort champions, and it's been taken away.
But the Lilia is on the board again, but I do not think they're going to pick it here just because at the moment, because of the Mordekaiser and the TF, they have a lot of AP damage.
Not only that, I would be surprised if they go for Lilia because what Team ELB did essentially the Xin Zhao pick was to prevent the Lilia pick, as Xin Zhao hard counts to Lilia.
Right. And also might have been a bad pick because in a team fight where Silas might be dealing some AoE, if he can get that Lilia sleep on like an important target, then it might be a team fight win for the side of Team ELB.
Exactly. So
and Morgana ban coming out. Seraphine actually coming. Interesting.
So this
Now, we
would go
don't
back to
normally
game
see
one for what you
Seraphine.
said about Ebony on the mage type support.
The Enchantress supports.
So this would be an interesting pick on the side of Team ELB. And now, one thing that comes through my mind when looking at this draft, Team SIU would need a lot of healing reduction.
That's right.
The Kane locked in. That's Harry's comfort.
But I think now also the side of Team ELB will need some healing reduction as well. And now with the Soraka hover and the Kane as well, who.
Especially with the Soraka.
Mm-hmm. I think after some point, if they don't build a healing reduction, it's just going to become unkillable. The team.
Exactly.
Sona, actually. Some might say the better Seraphine.
Some might say the original Seraphine.
The original. Well, sometimes the OG is the best.
It's the original Seraphine against the imposter Sona.
Very interesting to see how this one goes. Because Alex, not normally a person to play these kind of supports, usually playing like the Thresh or Braum or Leona, now playing the Sona. Interesting for us to see what he's going to do with that. Interesting. Is the Soraka lock-in?
This tells me it's a Stylus top lane against a...
Oh,
what?
I guess we have another technical difficulty. Another dodge.
Another random pick?
No, I think we're just having some...
Yeah, it's another random champ picked.
And also because champion availability. Unfortunate, but you know, I guess we'll have to give it another go. The casting at the... Well, now I think they're just dodging because they don't have the champions. But now I think it's just agreed upon that, you know, they're all just going to pick their own champions because now they know the draft.
Just follow safe pick. Type the safe pick down in chat for them so they remember if they don't.
Okay, so, I mean, I can tell them what they... Do you remember the picks?
Team SIU, it's Mort, Kane, TF.
Mord, Kane, TF, Kaisa.
I saw Sona. And then ELB so far was Silas, Zinjao, Jinx, Seraphine.
Silas, Zin,
Jinx.
Jinx, Raka.
No. Yeah, Raka. Raka was confirmed, I'm sorry.
Oh, Seraphine. They wanted Seraphine. They wanted Seraphine, not Raka.
Okay, so initial one was the right one, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that is agreed upon the champions before, now we can actually just speedrun.
Speedrun. That was a really bad one, my voice just broke, but
I think that, yeah, it doesn't matter. Because now we know exactly what we're doing. I don't know why they're taking so long. Just ban a champion. All right, Akali, Ari. Oh, wow, these are some very interesting bans.
Yep. It's as if Team ELB are just banning all the champions to Reveille.
Yeah, the first few. I'm surprised that Mumu wasn't in there. But I think...
So now we should just lock it in.
Yeah, just lock it in set now, I think, on the side of Team ELB. You know what's funny? I didn't think that, you know, that both of like the team names were based on that one copy paste, the El BICHO and SIU. I thought ELB was just some abbreviation for Edwin Loves Boys.
It's even more sad I actually don't know the memes, so I'm just pronouncing them non-ironically.
El BICHO.
Oh, is that why the description of YouTube stream was El BICHO's?
yeah, that's exactly why it was. Damn, I like these bands though. Akali, Ari, Aatrox, Akshan, and Alistar.
Sorry, a Moonwick exclude as usual.
That's what he said. Draven. It'd be so funny if one of them goes back on their word and just like locks in another champion.
Yeah, okay, so now we have 3 minutes to actually talk about the draft because I wanted to comment on something.
Okay,
and
go
then
for it.
and then
Please,
for a
please
split
do.
second I forgot about it. Oh yeah, okay, I remember now it's about the support pick. So you can go back on a point first that Alex doesn't normally pick supports like these, and then yeah. Right, we have about 4 minutes to talk about draft.
All right. I'll just leave the waiting screen on then. Okay, so let's talk about draft.
Right, so first thing, obvious point out is from the type of team SIU, Sir Wallace, as we mentioned, he's not the type of player that normally goes to these squishy champs, so to speak. He's normally on
The
the hard
Enchantress
engage ones, like,
supports.
yeah, the Enchantress support, sorry. He's normally on the tankier ones like Thresh and Leona, and it's an interesting pick nonetheless, regardless, because in this comp like this with the Mordekaiser and the TF, you would think he would go back to the Thresh or the Leona, which synergizes much better with their team comp. But instead, he's gone for the sustained healing type, so that'll be interesting to see. Whereas Team ELB, they're in a sense on a similar logic from the previous game, leaving a carry up to Gilgamesh on the Jinx. Whereas this time they have the Silas to match the roaming potential of TF, which makes me believe that even in game 1, the intention of picking the Corki was to match the Twisted Fate in terms of roaming potential, but they realize it's far too impossible as Twisted Fate can use his ultimate much more frequent than Corki get a package.
And I also
Other than
like the
that,
idea
yeah.
of the Silas in terms of the ults that he's been given available. The Sona ult can be very important in a follow up from Seraphine, perhaps, or the Mordekaiser ult to use to zone someone off of an objective, or someone who might be dishing the most damage to the enemy to their team. So I like the idea of Silas having these ults available.
Definitely. And this also leads to an interesting scenario now whereby both AD carries have to pay the QSS tax and the healing reduction tax much early on than they would have. As we seen in the last game, none of the AD carries actually bought healing reduction nor QSS as Jinx took cleanse in replacement for it. But with the amount of CC left now, they would have to buy the QSS, you believe, to stay alive in the team fights. Otherwise, the Mordekaiser, the Kane, can just bomb on the AD carry, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely an interesting draft to play around, and compared to game 1, it's much more balanced. As in, it's not obvious now which team wants to play the late game more than the other, as both teams are comfortable with the early, mid, and late game.
I like the matchup of Set into the Mordekaiser. I mean, but I think it'll come down to what I'm gonna call the battle of the W's. Who can use their W better? Because they're both W's is somewhat of a shield slash a sustain that they have. So whoever manages to use it the best, I think, will win out on the trades and maybe get even a kill here and there.
Right. I would expect this game to be a bit of a mirror of what happened last game, whereby the top lane will be heavily influenced by jungle. Because bot lane wise, once both bot laners hit level 6, I see it much harder for them to actually hard gank or hard commit to fight that bot lane, as Sona and Seraphine post level 6 do provide a lot of healing, shielding, and crowd control all in one kit.
I
So this would be
see
a
just
really
because of the
interesting
squishy
matchup to
nature
see.
of Jinx and Seraphine that the Kane just sits bot lane.
It would come down to the jungler pathing and how they want to execute the fight, which determines where this game will go, the tempo of this game, and another point that you indirectly brought up as well. It depends on what form this game wants to go on. Because if he wants to go for the assassin, the shadow assassin form, then we would definitely see him staying in bot lane, as that's the only lane whereby the champions are ranged. So this would come down to a lot of player-based decisions, and it would be a really interesting match to spectate. Now we're loading on the Rift. Players are making final preparations. We see some colorful skins across the board.
They don't see that.
And that's Senshi Part 1? I don't actually know the transition, so yeah.
Hold on, a minor technical difficulty arising. I think I'll just have to wait for it to actually load before I can do what I want. So I'll just let that be for the time being.
Alright.
Can you still see it, or do I need to
Yep,
change
I
anything?
can still see it.
Oh, okay. So then I
Yep,
think we're
okay,
good.
now we're in the rift.
All right.
Yep, we're in the rift.
But I need to change that on OBS. I cannot Alt-Tab for whatever reason. I apologize. Deeply sorry.
The casters decided that we were not paid enough, if at all, and have out effort for the game.
I apologize, okay? It's... Oh, crap! Okay. Wait, I need to just go back. Okay. I thought, you know, I was screwed that I wasn't going to be able to watch it, but, you know... It was a close call.
Mm-hmm.
It would be so funny if when by the time we load back into the game, like, things have happened.
Like 5 kills on the side of Team CU and Team ELB already.
Or is it like, it's like 2-2 right now, and then like the last one are like dishing it out? Okay, nothing's happened yet. All right, that's great.
You need to restream to Discord.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening yet.
Has been raining continuously for more than 40 hours in Malaysia.
Lovely weather you guys are having right now, I must say.
Places are flooded left, right, and center.
Wonderful. Say hi to Renekton and Cassio for me.
Right.
So we can see blue side.
Pathing starts.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would comment on the pathing that Kane is taking, because normally we would see them start
A Raptors perhaps, or even a red side.
So what this tells me is the Kane might really intend on playing bot side, as he wants to clear top side first and then sit down on bot side.
Mm-hmm.
So this is pointing towards the Shadow Assassin form rather than the Rast form.
And now you can see that actually Gilgamesh was taking the heal instead of the cleanse. And actually that's huge damage onto it. And that's honestly might be even first blood here for the side of Team ELB. That's actually huge damage. That's the exhaust and the flush and the heal out from the side of Team SIU. This early on can be catastrophic for them later within the next 5 minutes or so.
Huge trade on the side of Team ELB. And as you mentioned, the lack of mastery on Enchantress supports are showing on the side of Sir Wallace because he positioned much more forward than he had to be.
Yeah, and given the squishy nature of Sona in the early game, just allowed for huge punishment in that regard.
Immediately rooted by Seraphine, which led to a huge trade win. However, Ivan is kind of low as well now.
But I think he's still relatively healthy because I'm sure he has pots up his sleeve because he started with the 3 pots and the longsword compared to the Doran's blade and 1 pot for the side of Luke.
Do have to take note of Jungler's position though, as currently we see Red Band on the top side, whereas Harry on Kane is on bot side, clearing his Krugs.
And given the quick nature of the clear of Kane, I think this is a free bot scuttle for him. And because also Red Band skipped a camp, now he's working towards his Raptors, and as we see Harry already ganking level 4, has heal out of him, and there's a flash out, and there's first blood onto Kaisa as well. That's 400 gold onto him. That's great engage from Harry, and good tanking rotation of the turret allowed them to get that kill. That's flash out of...
Wonderful dive for the side of Team SIU.
Wonderful.
Contrast to game 1, the kill actually went over to the AD carry, but hold on, I thought again going on mid lane.
Oh, the Silas misses the E onto the TF by hitting the minion. That is feels bad. And now there's going to be collapsed upon on the mid lane. Should the Kane want to look for it? Lands the W, doesn't think to go back in.
Lash and Anticipate did have to burn the flash, so... still a mini win on the side of Team ELB, although it could have been a kill if the Silas E landed.
And I think he waited long enough where he was out of the minion's range, but he just somehow walked back into it and just didn't hit it. That's
Which is
unfortunate for him.
Unfortunate last tick of the minion's health, I believe. Topside trading aggressively as we anticipated in Champion Select.
Right, with the trade of the W's.
Yep. Although Mordekaiser in this sense, he would win on a drawn-out fight as Mord's W actually provides healing after a bit, whereas Set's only provides a shield, and the shield will just time out and deplete eventually. So as we speak right now, the health advantage is on Kyoto Ghost because of the healing received from the W.
And you can see that Harry sitting on the top side, and Edwin has no idea that he might be getting ganked right now. But that's a miss on the E, but still the Q follow up. That still chunks him out quite a bit.
Again, it's just like game 1. Both top laners do not really have the habit of warding the junglers.
Exactly. This complete topside jungle is completely dark as well. And Harry's just sitting here.
Both
And that's
solo
a
lanes-
East,
Both solo lanes are dark. Here's the gang though. The E landed, as you said, that's a flash.
That's a good W, honestly. I think that's a good W to keep him alive. And Kyoto goes taking out tower. And now the follow-up from the Xin Zhao, actually. But there's a trading on the top side. I mean, sorry, in the middle lane. Both mid laners hitting 6. Both have access to that ult now. Should they look for a map play?
Yeah. Rightfully so, backed out by Harry and Kyoto Ghost top side as Zinja has reset, has got his first item, so to speak. So his
The
first
Wisp?
purchase. Yeah.
Wisp, whip, Iron Spike whip. Oh, he actually gets the Scuttle Steal.
That's a steal!
And that's a follow. Oh,
Man, that's a solo
and
kill.
that's a solo kill. That's great play on from the side of Red Bandit. And now on the bot side as well, a kill
lane.
might be coming out onto. Oh, that's so close. But now just more topside
Did you
skirmishing, and that's a
run?
TP out from the Mordekaiser as well. But now the set has 6 and the Mordekaiser doesn't. And Silas is walking up as well.
The chain
Oh, that's
plus
a
the
good
ultimate
W, good E, sorry. And now he's able to get to safety with that as well. So that's a flash and TP invested from the Silas and the set to not get anything, basically.
Wonderfully played by Kyoto Ghost there. But again, the jungler matchup, the solo kill happened because Sinja has already gone back for the Iron Spike Whip. So he had the extra stats to just take down Harry.
That's a flash out of the Red Bandit as well, but he also got the Gromp as well, so he had the HP advantage in terms of that trade as well, because Harry couldn't smite anything, or Harry couldn't even get the Gromp to get that HP.
Exactly. However, with that said, Harry's still ahead in the farm.
Ever so slightly, but that's just the nature of the Kane clear.
Yep. So far, it's less bloody than game 1, definitely. And both teams are playing much more carefully rather than recklessly engaging.
I like division setup on the top side now for the side of Team ELB because it's better than what it was in Game 1 because they basically didn't have anything. So just the idea of one ward there completely is already better than nothing
Game
at all.
was the paranoia off cooldown, 24/7.
But Edwin is sitting on 2 wards still. He hasn't used a ward yet, and I think maybe he should invest in that to avoid getting camped. But we can see that
would
the
say-
Xin Zhao is sitting on the bot side now, maybe looking to make something happen. Both junglers at 6, both junglers on the bot side, but the health advantage towards the side of Team ELB.
Right. And I would second that with the 2 wards that Edwin has right now. Against the Kane, I would say it's much better to both the tri-bush and the bush in front of the Krugs because that's the type of pathing the Kane would normally like to take when camping you. But
And they're going
as you
for the
see,
bot
both
side, and there's
junglers on
another
one side
flash, and
fighting.
that's a flash on, and that's an easy ult onto the Jinx as well, but I think it might be a 1-for-1 at the moment.
Jonas.
And that's a flash ult from Alex. And I don't think he should have done that because now that's a triple kill actually
Wonderful cancel.
for the side of Team ELB. Wonderful stuff out of Ebonine and Red Bandit right there. Flash committed
Let's
again
comment
by
on-
Harry to
let's
try and
comment
collapse
as
on the
well.
Jinx. Yeah, go
He
for it, please.
cancelled Jonas's TP, which heavily impacted the pacing of the fight because had Jonas finished channeling the TP, Team SIU would have gotten the numbers advantage first and landed more crowd control, but because his TP was cancelled in the mid lane, Team ELB came out completely on top of the fight. 3 kills on the side of Red Bandit. Now
I think
4
there
in
was
total.
just I think it was because of that, the TP that Alex might have thought like, okay, now we have a chance in for me to flash and ult, but it was since it was cancelled, he just flashed to his demise.
Yeah. So fantastic stuff, fantastic setup, and fantastic fighting on the side of Team ELB. And similar to Team Silver last game, all the kills right now are on the jungler.
That's right. But and then compared to and also similar to the game 1, but on the side of Team ELB, all the kills are now mainly on the AD. Ivan 0-2 right now. We don't normally see him in this position, but given his understanding of the game, I think it's still very much in control, very much understanding of the game
Definitely.
situation. He can definitely come back from that.
Definitely. However, Team C now, they have to be more aware to Xin Zhao, as different to Lilia. A Xin Zhao can be fighting right point blank in front of you and win it. So
And the Gore Drinker
Team
already
SIU.
completed for Xin Zhao, might I add.
they definitely have to
Respect
step it
him.
up and get the healing reduction items as soon as possible now. Otherwise, the Xin Zhao will be life stealing, fighting 3 or 4 members at once. Wonderful stuff though, coming out from Team ELB. Not letting game 1 shake them. They're coming back strong in the second game so far.
Oh, that's a good...
Fantastic trade up top lane.
And that's a huge ult into turret range. Can he follow up? I think the Red Bandit is here to clean up now.
Xin Zhao though,
Oh, that's a flash.
had the flash to his demise. He tried to trade it, but it just ended in tragedy for Kyoto Ghost.
It was a very close trade because I thought it would have been much more different because I think because of the Mordekaiser E that pushed the set W away to actually behind the Mordekaiser rather than for him to tank the damage. I thought it was going to be a much better trade for Kyoto Ghost. In the end, it was still very close, but a kill going over again to the Red Bandit because he was there at the right time.
Right, if it wasn't for the Mordekai's E, as you said, it could have been a solo kill up on the top lane for Edwin. Quick item check so far, the bot lane is rather equal as Stating Straw has not reset yet. In terms of the jungler matchup though, it's so heavily favored in terms of Red Bandit, Gortricker completed, and with the 1 more kill up top lane, once he resets, I would assume it would be the tier 2 boots completed as well.
That is
And
unless
this
he has
something
magical
Harry
boots,
has to
but I
watch
don't
out
think
for
he has.
because Xin Zhao, I believe, would outscale Kane if he goes to the Shadow Assassin form.
And going for another gank on the top side, no flash on the Mordekaiser, no ult either. If they can
Kyoto
follow
was
up on
given
this.
intense treatment.
No, but he just walked back
No,
to his turret
good.
to his safety. Alright, so.
Good dodge on the Xin Zhao W.
But now we can
Now,
see that the
knowing
Kane
that-
is in the enemy jungle right now. Trying to take as much as he can because he knows that Xin Zhao might be like looking towards the Herald or trying to get another gank up on the top side because the mid lane is also looking top as well, but probably just for the Herald.
Yep. Wonderfully said, and a difference from last game right now is like Jonas has not used his ultimate once yet. He hasn't been able to effectively use his ultimate nor his teleports because the Silas is just constantly pressuring him. So it's already a big difference compared to game 1.
Another
and
a dodge on the
top lane.
Q and then the W dodge as well, so quick trade
Perfect dodge
here.
from Haymaker. Kyoto Ghost is winning his. His ultimate is seconds away from being up.
I think they might be looking for a dive on the bot side because both jungler and mid laner are in the bot side jungle. Taking this blue buff,
I would
probably
say
going to give over
Team
to
SIU has
Jonas,
full
right?
knowledge, has full knowledge of Red Bandit's pathing. They know Xin Zhao's on top side, so they want to make a play bot side. The question is, how far are they willing to commit right now?
Kyoto Ghost sees
Ghost,
Kyoto, yeah, in the jungle. Oh, that's a good dodge on the Q. He got lucky because of the ultimate Zinja ultimate, but that's a flash out of him. But I think there might be a
Sure.
follow-up because the Silas is healthy and the TF ulting as well. I
don't
think this is just gonna be.
Team ELB.
It's not a good fight for Team ELB. That's a shutdown onto the Kane from, and that's a huge follow-up ult from Seraphine. I mean, sorry, Sona as well. And now he's just, Coconut just got to get the hell out of there. And now he's even got exhausted, yellow card. I think he's pretty much just done here. There's nothing he can do. It just depends on who gets it, and it's going to be given over to Jonas right here.
But he's bought so much time. Gilgamesh, I believe, almost able to take 2 turret platings in bot lane because Team ELB, they commit so heavily topside. And
But I think it
would
was very
say-
smart of Alex to have to roam with his team. You know, get that exhaust
Exactly.
and get that ult in. And leave them
They
literally
heavily
no
punish the
option.
overcommitment of Xin Zhao in the enemy jungle.
I mean, it
But
was
again,
only
if
Zinja. That's what he was left with doing because the enemy team invaded his jungle. So he thought maybe it was the right play to go for the counter jungle, not realizing that the entire team was missing.
Yeah, but it could have been a close one again had ELB had more members up top side. Then the 3 or 4 man crescendo landed by Coconut would have been crucial.
Absolutely. But now we can see the item advantage, the healing reduction item coming from the Sona to try and mitigate the damage done from the Silas, and now the Gore Drinker on the Xinjiao as well. So
Really smart itemization from Sir Wallace. You can see, despite his inexperience in Trash supports, he still knows the support role enough to know what to build first and how to play the matchups well. Fantastic roaming, fantastic itemization. Aside from the early game blunder, which resulted in a negative trade, so far I'm liking his performance down in the bot lane.
And right now they're sitting at still a 1.5k gold lead for the team of Team SIU. And this itemization from Kyoto Ghost as well with the Bramble Vest. Oh, they're actually looking for a dragon fight actually, maybe. The side of Team SIU, but I think they have 4 men and I think they should get it pretty safely. Oh, Alex actually gets the dragon. But that's a 3-man ult from the Seraphine. I think they can turn this around. And that's a huge 4-man ult from Alex, actually. But he's left his team, he's left his jungler alone. But his jungler more than healthy, actually. More than I thought he would be. And there's actually a solo kill on the top side.
That's a solo kill on top side, but then...
And actually, he's turning it around. He's turning it 1v3.
That's 2 kills! It could be triple kill!
He's turning it 1v3, actually, an impressive play from Harry. So, all around, just a huge win from everybody on the side of Team ELB. Sorry, Team SIU. Oh my goodness.
Of healing reduction. They thought 3v1, no shot that Kane survives, but this is not Shadow Assassin. We were about to comment on Harry getting the Ras form. And because of lack of healing reduction on the side of Team ELB, he just absolutely decimates the 3 members of Team ELB. Huge win on the side of Team ELB. I mean Team SIU. Getting the dragon, getting the kills.
Well, it all started with the steal from Alex, and then I thought, maybe the team fight was over because Ebonine landed a huge Seraphine ult, and the team followed up after that. But then I think Coconut just walked towards the mid lane to try and clear the wave, and then Kane ulted the Jinx as well, so he was kind of left by himself. But then Alex landed a huge 4-man ult as well, so he's been playing really great out of his mind right now.
Again, decision making from Team ELB is just, they got complacent. They thought, again, they thought they had a Kane in the bag, but they didn't kind of take into consideration the itemizations. They were not strong enough to kill off the Kane. The Kane had too much lifesteal.
And now another train topside. While that was happening, actually, is another trade up on the top side with Alex and Harry both walking up. The Herald not even getting a charge as well, so huge loss for the side of Team SIU again. But
Team ELB rather.
sorry, Team ELB, my bad. So it's you get confused sometimes.
Yeah, understandable. We've both done that, yeah. But again, Team ELB, it seems that every time they seem to be going an upwards path, they just make a questionable decision that sends them crashing downhill. There's a 3-man dive.
And there's a teleport coming in. And now I think they're going to converge onto the Kaisa as well. So now it's going to be 2v5, 3v1.
Team ELB.
Yeah, that's a good counter to all the plays that were trying to happen on both sides of the map.
So that was a good decision this time. They saw the Kane top and was like, alright, it's 3-man top, we 3-man dive bot, and they get first tower. So fantastic decision making this time around. Sorry, get a tower in the bot side rather than the first tower.
And then it was a good call, but Coconut here, sitting on a ward, doesn't even know it. And he's done. He's done. Nowhere to go. Can't even react in time. He just didn't even realize he was sitting on the ward. But now it's
extremely careless of him.
2v3. Mordekaiser are ulting the set just to scare him off a little. But now TF ulting into the mid lane.
Go back to mid lane to clear the wave and siege the tower. That again, Team ELB they can't seem to keep the momentum going.
And then now the collapse onto the. We mentioned that Alex had first bought the healing reduction item, but I'm not seeing anything similar on the side of Team ELB, and this might be very catastrophic for them in later into the team fights.
not only later in team fights, the fight at Dragon Pit has already proven how important it is that they have a healing reduction item, as they could not kill off Harry despite it being a 1v3 scenario. So the fact is that they haven't bought a healing reduction item now means that the following fights, as long as they don't have a numbers advantage, even if they have the numbers advantage, they might not be able to win it because Team SIU, they just have a lot of lifesteal and healing on their hands that Team ELB are not able to deal with right now. Just a mix of questionable and good decisions on Team ELB. They just can't seem to keep the strong momentum going. The lead now expanded to 3,000 goal lead. It's nothing compared to game 1, but it has been doubled since 10 minutes ago.
Team
Kyoto
ELB
goes down
really
just
struggling
perfectly traded.
to find a way back in. I mean, that save, that top lane TP was a good save to try and save the set because he knew that, you know, 4 of their members were coming topside. And then to try and counter that, that's why they went for the 3-man dive bot lane. But from that, just because, again, it goes back to the problem they've been having for the last 1.5 games now is the vision.
The vision and the decision making, whether in terms of micro or macro level, because if you pay attention to the itemization of Kane now, he has a death dance completed. This is even more important now that they have healing reduction, but again, they still have none. Silas went back for a reset, Seth went back for a reset, and just none of them picked up a single component of healing reduction.
And now they're going to give this Draco for free, I assume, because there's nothing they can do about it.
They don't have the vision. They have no vision, no wards, no pressure, no nothing. Kyoto goes finding Red Bandit in the jungle.
Getting caught out again.
See, Red Bandit could not even heal. That's a solo kill. Again, the Bramble was really smart buy from Kyoto Ghost. He's like, alright, a Senja is found early game. He has no lifesteal. So, what do? We've seen Sir Waddle's third and Kyoto Ghost. They rush a healing reduction item. They completely negate the advantage that Sinjao had in early game. He was 4-1, now he's 5-4. Any advantage that built up in the early game is just pretty much non-existent at this point.
Yeah, and after, you know, what we saw happen in the bot lane where he got a triple kill even to try, you know, after, you know, failed attempt at, or like just the attempt to try and kill the bot lane, for him to capitalize on that team fight and then for that to just, you know, go nowhere afterwards is just kind of disappointing.
I would say it just came down to decision making again, because they did try to keep the Sinjao snowballing, but...
Uh-oh, here we go again.
Hold that thought, the fight is breaking out.
Can't even react in time to get the ult unless a TP out from the TF as well, so the whole team was there regardless if so. I think she was pretty much gone anyway. But here we go again. It's the vision. It's the vision. They've got none of it.
I feel like exactly at this point we sound broken records, as this game, it just boils down to the 2 points again. The lack of vision.
Red Bandit caught out again almost. And then see, now there's 3 members, 4 members even.
Again, they try to make a play, but he just can't heal. The healing reduction is too strong. But as we speak, Ebonon, she finally has the healing reduction component of Morning completed, but I'm not sure.
And that's a 4-man dive on the top side.
And they juggle turn aggro perfectly as well. It's just textbook play coming out from Team SIU.
Just look at the items coming out of TF. The rapid fire cannon really doing dividends for him. Just getting those long range gold cards to set plays up for his team. Because it was through that you know, the Red Bandit got caught out in the jungle.
Yeah.
Because he dodged out on like the Mordekaiser E, and is just a follow up from that long range gold card that just led to his death. And now it's looking on the Baron, a free Baron pretty much.
And I don't think they can contest. Red Bandit has just respawned. He's not going to make it. And let's bring us back to the drafting phase, where I mentioned I was surprised that they left the Twist of Fate open for Jonas, when game 1 it was such a crucial pick that led to the tempo, led to the acceleration of pacing from the side of Team SIU, and they left it open. They had the size to counter pace it, but then so far it has not paid much dividends aside from the first fight, which resulted in a triple kill for Red Bandit. But even then, that advantage has gone down the drain completely.
I'm not that concerned with, like, they let the TF through. I'm just concerned that, like, the Silas pick that they took to match it hasn't done anything even close to what he was supposed to be doing.
And it's not to say that pure play gap, because it could have done a lot, as we've seen in the earlier fights, but just like
I think it's just just communication errors
Yeah.
of, like, people going in by themselves getting caught out when they realize that they don't see anybody and they could be anywhere at any time, and not respecting that is just that goes back to the vision and decision making.
Exactly, and what's more impressive for the side of Team SIU, ignoring the mistakes of Team ELB, is that in a span of 10 minutes, they have widened their goal lead from only 2 to 3,000 to now almost 10,000 up. They're just accelerating the game at a fantastic pace right now without giving up too much. Honestly impressive for the side of Team SIU.
And honestly, I think a lot of credit has to be given to Alex as well, being able to get his cross map plays. You know, walk with the mid laner, walk with the jungler to try, you know, catch out anybody, follow up with the damage, follow up with an exhaust, follow up with an ult. You know, just to kind of secure it for the other member of his team.
Definitely, and again, to your point, vision control. If you see, like, he has 54 vision score, the highest among anyone, and it pays dividends because we've seen how much Team SIU has been able to catch Team ELB off guard.
Oh, here we go.
There's 3 man at the end.
He can't even move. He wasn't
Fantastic
even been able to
teamwork.
move. That's the TF for you.
It's a TF, and it's.
I'm a
champions
bit
aside,
interested with
it's
this
the fact that
build
Team
from
SIU,
the
they're playing
Silas.
more like a team.
Yeah, I'm interested with this build from Silas. I think it's the staff. The Archangel staff, actually. Interested to see why he decided to build that.
And because that's sole point. I mean, yeah, that's sole point for Team SIU. Inferno Soul, right? And it's Inferno Soul as well. If they get the Dragon Soul, then I would believe that will spell the doom of Team ELB, unless they find a miracle comeback. But with how they're currently playing right now, I find it highly unlikely because, again, Team SIU, they're just playing so much more like a team. Coordinating all these plays, all these dives, they're just playing out of their minds right now. That'll be the mid inhibitor uncontested, 11,000 gold up. Baron buff has just expired though, so I don't think they'll be able to continue the siege. They would have to back off. What they don't want to do now is to give Team ELB the chance to come back, the chance to let the Jinx get fed again. Even then, compared to last game, Jinx is now severely behind. If you recall, in game 1, Gilgamesh Jinx by now is 1.5 items ahead of Standing Strauss Kaisa, but the script has been flipped. Despite the high CS lead, they're almost on the same itemizations.
That's just because of the good positioning that came out of Luke.
It's just fantastic, this game. Team SIU just putting on a spectacle right now. Textbook play, left, right, center.
I think a lot of it also comes from the playmaking of Jonas as well, with those ultimates, being able to get those long-range goal cards, and then it's easy for Alex or someone to follow up with either the ult or an exhaust or the Kaisa coming in, you know, and dishing the damage. And it has the collector as well.
Definitely. And this game, something I've just noticed is Gilgamesh just gone for the heal instead of cleanse, so he's even less willing and able to walk forward to farm or do damage now because Jonas can just easily outrange him and stun him. Because he doesn't have the QSS nor the cleanse to help him this time. So the Twisted Fate is just creating so much pressure that Silas is not able to match. It could, to some extent, boil down to draft gap as well. So see now they're almost exactly 10,000 apart. Team ELB, as you can see the minimap, complete darkness. The only pocket of vision they have is in the bot side jungle. Even then, could they do much of it?
think in an opportunity for Team ELB, Team ELB to come back is maybe if they can just land like a combination of their ults, like a Seraphine ult with a follow up from maybe like a set or something to get like that huge AOE damage from the ult. But I don't think he even has enough of the items to get that damage. And as we're
Seraphine might just
saying
be
that,
dead. Fantastic plays. And they're just going for a dive, but this could be game.
this could be game.
It's already 3 dead inside Team ELB. Luke is dead, however.
Okay, game 2, I think this is going to be it.
Can Gilgamesh defend this? 1v4.
The respawn timers are a bit long right now, 20 to 30 seconds on most of their teammates. Ivan holding out by himself. The whole team's still healthy. Sanestar is dead, but the rest of the team is entirely healthy and continue to. And the flash.
Just a flash gold card. That's it. That's game.
And that's game for the side of Team SIU. That's the 2-0 you were talking about.
Gilgamesh disconnected, disheartened, destroyed.
What else
Team
can we
SIU.
say? 2-0 on the day for winning the League of Legends Avue Games 2021. Congratulations.
We have a first ever champions. Just fantastic textbook performance on the side of Team SIU.
Just great plays all around. I'm really impressed with the entire team. They came through really, really well. They played together. They played like a team. And I think it goes back to what you said at the very beginning, you know, the chemistry. This team has it, and they definitely brought it to the table, and they definitely showed today.
They showed it. They showed us like the importance of teamwork, because it's hard to pick a standout performer on the side of Team SIU. All of them played their part equally well. Harry with the ganks, Jonas with the setups, Alex with the roaming, the vision control, and Steadying Straw, even in 2 games, he has shown consistency, whether he's ahead or behind. He's been able to find pockets of safety to do damage, and in this game, when he was given the kills, he just showed us how good of an AD carry he is as well.
Definitely putting up a fight, you know, definitely making Ivan sweat a little in terms of, you know, the matchup. Definitely impressive out of him.
Credit to Team ELB as well for not giving up throughout the game. Like, they had moments where they looked like they had hope to come back into it, but
Definitely the early game where, you know, the Red Bandit definitely got ahead, and, you know, it was looking good for them.
But again, it boils down to 2 points that we've been repeating the whole night. Vision control, the lack of healing reduction, and combining game 1, just the lack of chemistry and questionable decision making. A lot of small mistakes that were made, although harmless at first, just led to really big advantages given to Team SIU. As you've seen in the short span of 10 minutes, they've managed to expand the lead by about 7,000 to 8,000, and that's no easy feat.
Well, now we're preparing a post-match interview with the winning team, Team SIU. So, as we're waiting for that to happen, let's get ready.
Let's get ready to meet our first ever champions of Avue Games.
All right, ready to bring them in when they're ready.
We're gonna give them a few minutes to celebrate the victory. Well-earned victory, well fought.
You know, I'm surprised. I'm thinking to themselves, they're all just like to each other, like, yeah, nice, good job, guys. That's it. And I bet the person most hyped about everything is definitely Alex.
Alex, it has to be Alex.
As we're waiting now.
They bring it up like Team SIU. They have really cool and calm personalities. I wouldn't say calm, but they're definitely very cool personalities.
All right,
And
that's the first. They're coming here.
They're coming in, our first ever champions of Avue Games. Let's go!
Congratulations, guys! You won the first Avue Games, official Avue Games soon.
My brother Habib.
How does it feel, guys? How does it feel?
Wow, superb.
Thank you, Jimmy. What a series! First of all, we gotta pay respects to the other team. I think they played a brilliant series.
I know you're lying through your teeth, but you know I'll let you have it.
That was for the PR.
It's for the PR. We need it. Sponsored by Roughly Reporter. We gotta not lose this steal.
I know. Yeah, especially my opponent. He's great, but yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
He's a great player. I respect him. Yes.
Well, so it's an easy 2-0 sweep for you guys. Did you expect that going into the games?
No.
Hell yeah.
No, like the first game, I'm like, hopefully I don't know like what's gonna happen, and then and somehow that I feel like I'm just like doing whatever I should do, winning, relaying, anything.
I want to hear what Jonas
Honestly,
has to say.
we
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
came into this
I
game,
thought-
you know, expecting nothing, but we also didn't. You know, we came into it with a really neutral mindset, so we just played our hearts out. You know.
You're so full of shit.
Luke, I wanted to talk to you
Jonas-
for a sec because you were the only person who said hell yeah when I said that you guys were going into this knowing that you're going to sweep them out. I want to know what's the reason behind your confidence in that regard.
I believe my teammates, you know, they are all really good players.
All right,
Aw.
okay, I like
Yeah,
that.
you know, the reason we won is we all believed in each other.
That's nice to hear.
Believe it.
You know, that's
Well,
actually
on
something
the
me and
point of
J-Man
our
were
friendship, then,
discussing.
Yeah, I would like to ask you guys how you guys felt in the early game of game 2 when Din Zhao got 3 kills on you guys, but you guys made it look like nothing, just easily came back
Useless
with
champion,
all the
useless
teamwork, all the
champion.
roaming.
It's like Sinjao is a champion that's like easy to gank early games, but when all the kills is onto him, then his teammate won't get that much out of it. So it means that the only thing is that maybe he's gonna gank more, but their players might still lose lane if they're just like fighting 1v1. And
We just
also,
avoided taking risky skirmishes against Sinjao when we know he's fed.
yeah.
I know the feeling of you know, being a fed early game jungler because I KS Ivan enough when I play Lee Sin.
Yeah.
And I think
And we're recommending really good warding and the purchase of healing reduction items.
Oh yeah, I had to rush that freaking what's it called? The what is it called?
Chemtech purifier.
Chemtech purifier, dude. I see Seraphine freaking buy that shit. Oh my god, Wolf of Wall Street right here, getting that shit right there. Insta buy right there.
Winning to Boris.
It hasn't been
Yeah, winning to Boris. Boris gave me good luck today.
Yeah, see, and also the what's that called? Like, there's no reduction key, like armor.
Thornmail.
Fabulous.
Dormel, yes, yeah,
You went
Dormel. It's
Fabulous
like
very early on.
yeah, it's like Dormel. It's like the every like top lane, like every top lane. If you're really aging top lane and they have kind of like lifestyle, you should definitely go that. And that's and also in Chinese we have a special name for it. We call it the armor of your father. It's like after I wear it, I'm your father because you're not getting any heal.
You're his daddy. You're his daddy.
Yeah.
You beat him up.
Yeah, I'm your daddy, boy.
Especially
Yeah.
the
Okay.
battle of the grievous ones.
Yeah.
And Jonas, I want to give
you.
you credit for the TF pick came in clutch the 2 games, the long range goal card,
Oh.
setting it up for the team as well. How do you feel having made those plays, and setting your team up for great success?
Yeah, I just thought I could roam faster.
Just building utility, you know.
So I just picked it.
Well, it
And then
definitely
you-
did
Yeah,
work.
No.
We-
Actually, before we played the first game, we won the first game. I thought like we're just gonna lose because like last time when we had our scrim the first time we lost to them, but then like so I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll just play for the team even if we lose. So I picked TF the first game. But it turns out it worked out really great. So yeah, I just picked him second game.
Were you surprised that they let the TF through in the second game because of how well you performed in the first?
I think
Not
we were
really, because
surprised.
I know Silas counters TF and Coconut is gonna play Silas, but I have a strategy against Silas is that I'm gonna freeze the lane under my tower before level 6 so that he can't do anything about it. So yeah, it just worked out.
And it was very well played. We have to give kudos to
Yeah,
you.
we all watched Party to LS last night.
And
That's why you won.
we didn't even have single scrim before the game, so I was like, yeah, we're gonna lose because
Yeah, it's like
they scrimmed like 4 games. They scrimmed
Like
like
last-
4 games today.
Like last week, this week I'm like doing I'm doing my extend this week. I didn't play a single game. Like last night, because I'm in America, it should be night for you. So it's like in the morning of you guys. I'm playing like every game I can possibly play, and then I feel like I'm getting into my rhythm. So yeah, I think I did a very good performance over here.
You were amazing, man.
Well, a great performance from you guys and the
Dividends.
team. So congratulations once again. And you know we'll see you guys in the Valorant and CS series.
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and congratulations on taking 2-0 series. Clean games, clean games.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Jimmy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Taj.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Love you all.
All right.
Yeah.
Now what?
Now, like, bye.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bro, it's recorded.
Wow, that was nice.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was fun to listen to.
All right, let's bring them
Alright.
out. Let's bring the others in.
I'm just gonna tell them y'all cringy as fuck in that. Oh.
Man, this was so fun to do. I want to do casting more often, man.
Same, man. I had a blast with you, man.
It's because you know you fill in my awkward silences. Because it would have been so much different if it weren't for you there.
I kind of felt at some points you were a bit like, yeah, we complimented each other.
Mm-hmm. You save my ass. Save face. You help me save face.
Let's go.
All right, Team ELB.
Alright, Team ELB.
Unfortunately, you couldn't.
I can't answer it.
Okay, I'm sorry, but okay. Unfortunate loss for you guys. But how do you feel having played the two games?
I'll cancel.
Wait, why are you so loud? I can I represent the whole team?
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Yes.
It was a fun game. I mean, there's not much we could do. We did our best, you know. But it was fun. You know what I learned in this game, you know, it's a very special lesson. Yeah. What I learned from this game is not to tilt. You know, it's a very important lesson. I learned not to tilt.
Was there a lot of tilting in the games? Do you think?
No, not
I
really.
also learned that ADC is still a useless role.
Yo,
I decided to
chill.
level swap to jungle.
I like. Okay, guys, listen. Okay, we might have lost league, but we'll win balance. Yes, easy.
Oh, that's a bigger copium.
Okay, dude. Our teams are not looking too good with how Avue Council has arranged it, but
I wonder who made the teams.
I wonder who make the teams. Definitely not the enemy team. Definitely not the enemy team that's arranging our team. But we'll do our best. Yes. Yeah, fun game, man. Fun game. Hey guys, fun game? No, fun game, no. Dude, stop don't me, bro.
Right, so it's good to see the team is still in relatively good spirits after 2 games, but you know, it was close fought. You guys showed signs of life throughout games 1 and 2, had a lot of some amazing moments that did make things interesting. So what was the biggest factor you think that led to this unfortunate loss against Team SIIU today?
Me. I was trash. Take that one.
Think of it like that, you know. There's always I don't know, silver lining of sorts.
It was a team
Thank
game.
you.
We didn't pick a more versus. It was like a draft, you know. We didn't pick too much. We didn't counter pick a more versatile team comp. They were just everywhere around the map. We couldn't do that much.
Yeah.
Definitely could do better if we scrimmed more, but we didn't. So
Me and
No,
J-Man were
honestly,
discussing that, like, you know,
I'm gonna be
a
like an
reason why.
excuse, cause the enemy team is basically just my cash team that we played for so long
yeah,
already.
well,
Except they kicked me
well-
out cause they found a younger ADC with more potential. So
well, you know, the teams were decided by the enemy team, so there's not much we can do.
But you know,
About
there's
that.
always
Literally
something to look
says
forward to.
Val
You guys
team.
got your Val
Hey,
team,
man,
Val
there's-
games and CS
There's
games.
always Val team, but the Val team is also arranged by the enemy team. Hey, we're gonna try our best, but I'm not gonna bet on that. Hey, there's CS as well. But don't worry. It's also arranged by the enemy team, so I'm not looking too forward to that. But that's Minecraft, the only game that matters actually.
And
And we're
Among
gonna win
Us.
that. We're gonna win Minecraft. And Among Us. Wait, are we doing Among Us? We're not doing Among Us. We're only doing Minecraft.
We can do Mars.
Hey, we win Minecraft.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for this post-match interview. I'm gonna go, otherwise my ass is gonna get whooped.
Hey yo, do my praying and you won't get whooped.
Whoa.
Thanks for interviewing us.
thanks for
What?
thanks for the games. I had a lot of fun watching you
again,
guys. You
thanks for
all
coming
had
to
your
interview,
moments. You know,
and
thank you for the interview. Thank you for
Hey, man,
everything.
thank you for
Best of luck in the coming
casting the
games.
games.
You're
Wait, are
welcome.
you
you're
gonna
welcome.
upload these?
I'm going to upload it. I have everything saved on my computer. All right, arigatou gozaimasu. Sayonara.